So here's the thing. Most women weren't taught to live a soft and powerful life. We were taught to survive it. And by 35 plus, we don't really know what to do. I'm Kajal, a wellness coach, a sportswear designer, a diabetes advocate. I've grown up in Zambia. I've lived in London. I've studied in New York. I've modeled around the world. And all the things I've learned in my many years, my big age, I'm going to share with you. If you're a woman juggling career, culture, kids, family, maybe even a chronic condition, these hacks will change the way you show up for yourself. So let's see. So my first hack is a simple one, the 5 a.m. club. It's cute until it isn't. You don't need to wake up early. You need to wake up intentionally. So your sleep might be broken by a low blood sugar or by waking up to look after the kids. Maybe you just couldn't sleep that night. Something's going on and you're going to be waking up so tired if you're always saying, I need to wake up at 6. Yes, you got things to do, but it's actually about the habits that you have when you do wake up. That's why they say women of color are 3 times more likely to go through burnout, because you're already juggling so much and you haven't been able to get a good night's sleep. So you can't really go back and sleep for another hour. So why don't you have your morning routine? I'm going to call it a ritual that's going to make you feel glowy from the inside and actually just start your day off really relaxed and really slow as a beautiful luxury towards you. So the first thing I would say is stack your morning. So when you wake up, take 5 minutes for you. Do a deep breathing, do something that's going to slow you down before you look at your phone. Try and get 5 minutes of sunlight, and if you're not in a country that has a lot of sun, get those light machines that wake you up, and have a glass of water. Overnight, your body is doing all sorts of things. You're going to be so dehydrated, so try and have a glass of water, preferably warm, so if you can get a flask, keep it by your side of the bed from the night before. When you wake up, start your day, even if it's just a half a glass, but start your day with the water. 5 minutes of sunlight and just a few minutes to deep breathe and just gather your surroundings before you start the joy scrolling. I don't call it doom scrolling, see the previous video. And then habit anchoring. So while you're waiting for your coffee to brew or you're waiting for the kettle to boil your water for tea, try and do a meditation then. Try and take a few minutes to do, I call it the vagus nerve reset, something that Dr. Deepak Chopra talks about all the time. So breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and then breathe out for 8. That slow down helps you reset your vagus nerve, and that keeps everything in alignment. So your vagus nerve actually is called the prana bridge, which connects your brain to the rest of your body. So all your emotions, all your energies, you want to keep your nervous system set so well for the day so that no matter what comes to you, you are good. And in that time, whether it's a breathing exercise, your meditation exercise, habit stack it. Do it together while you're doing something else. Because that way, you're able to maximize your morning, but also do things that are good for you. That's why I keep saying a gentle morning is not a luxury, it's a nervous system reset. And as you get older, 30 plus, you have so many responsibilities, but at least if you have your morning ritual set, your nervous system will be so centered that you're able to be there for everyone else because you've been there for yourself first. Hack 2. A soft life does not equal a lazy life. I don't know why people think that if you go for your hair or your massage or any of these good things, they may not say it to your face, but they may kind of imply like, oh, you know what? She's living a soft life. She's not dealing with all the pressures we're doing. But that's the thing, because you're not able to give to others if you haven't been able to give to yourself. And it's not about the brunches and the massages and all of that. What I actually mean is doing things for people without bleeding on them. So doing unpaid labor, and this is emotional labor and physical labor. You might be taking a lot of energy out every day to deal with someone at work who's committed to picking on what you're doing. You may be having fights with your partner. Maybe you both have different love languages. You could be taking a lot of energy out with looking after the kids. So this is why I say do an energy audit. In a week, highlight where you're taking so much of your energy out. Just highlight it. I'm not saying to get rid of anything, but just highlight it, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a small pot in our bank accounts. So sometimes you can create like a little savings pot. And every time you give emotional labor to something, you put £1 or $1 or a 10 kwacha, a dirham into that pot. Why? Is because now you're going to start watching where your energy is going, because your energy, your emotions are your currency. So that's why I'm saying a soft life is not necessarily a lazy life. A soft life is choosing where to put your energy so you're not bleeding for anyone, on anyone, because you're holding yourself accountable and really seeing what really needs my energy and what doesn't. Big hack. Hack number 3. Stop over-explaining. Start reclaiming. When you start over-explaining yourself, you're giving others the permission to doubt you. Have you noticed when you're at a family function or a work function, somewhere where there's a lot of people, maybe an auntie, maybe a friend, and they ask you something about your life and you get a little bit nervous. You're like, oh, I need to say something. And you end up giving a whole spiel about what you're doing. And in the end, they may not necessarily take that in a positive way. And next, they may be phoning your mom or your partner or a friend and say, oh, did you know? Or is this correct? You were going in, explaining, sharing. You gave a finger and they took the whole arm. So, don't over-explain yourself. A no is a no. Like N-O is a word, but it's also a sentence. It has a full stop. Stop over-explaining yourself when you don't need to. I think a lot of times us as women, because we are feminine and we are emotional, we, in the process of talking to someone and explaining or sharing actually, we are processing as we're talking. So a hack that I will tell you to do, please do, is think about what you're trying to say and then remove the emotions out of it. Be a little bit stoic and say, right, I actually need to get this from this person, or I need to say this to this person. That's all is necessary. Everything else is just context. I mean, if you're speaking to your best friend, cool. But if you're in a work environment or in a big family environment, just take what is needed and just say that. You may need to take a few minutes to rejig what you're saying, but you don't need to over-explain yourself. A simple, this doesn't work for me, works. A simple, I'm not ready to share this right now, works. A simple, actually, I'm working on it, works. That's it. You don't need to over-explain yourself, because over-explaining is people-pleasing in disguise. Yeah. If you need to rehearse how to say no, do it in the mirror. Say a few lines, practice it so that it becomes so easy for you. Hack number 4, move your body for power, not punishment. So now, I know a lot of us post 30, you're gaining weight in places you've never gained weight before, you're struggling to lose it, it's also cortisol, it's stress, there's all sorts of things, and then you still want to go out and have that favorite meal that you have on a Friday night. And so you'll end up saying, you know what, I'm going to walk a little extra, or I'm going to do an extra gym class so I can eat. But really you're punishing your body. You want to exercise because it makes you strong, it makes you powerful, it makes you feel good about yourself. You want to be strong enough so that your joints are still moving when you're 50. As we age, we also lose a lot of muscle mass and we also lose our bone density. So whether it's the gym or whether it's a Bollywood dance class, whatever works for you, but you need to move for your power and not punishment. And it doesn't need to be fantastical. You know what? You don't actually need to go to the gym if you don't want to. If you want to, fantastic. But otherwise, on YouTube, you can have a 7-minute Pilates session. You can do a bit of yoga in your house. You can go for a 30-minute walk. Something that gets you moving, and you do it every day because it's something you enjoy. Choose music that you can't not get up to. You want to move and dance. Music that you love, and that's your joy, that's your cultural feeling, your feminine energy. Because when you're in touch with that, your body's, all your blood cells, all your little baby cells, your army of cells are going to be like, yay, she wants to play. You are going to lose that weight without you even thinking about it, because the cortisol is not crazy stressed up there, it's not raised up, and you're not going against your grain. They do say lifting weights will make you more denser in your bones. You don't have to go to the gym. You can carry big containers of milk, do that a couple of times in the house. It really doesn't have to be rocket science, but move for your power, not your punishment. Because you know what it is? You're not lazy. You're just uninspired, and you need to find your rhythm. That's all. Hack number 5. Learn that cultural food is actually ancestral medicine. I'm going to say this. Cultural food isn't unhealthy. The colonized version of it is. So imagine when you go to the fast food Chinese place, the fast food Indian place. Yeah, it tastes good, but it's got a lot of MSG, it's got a lot of colorings, it's got all sorts of powders that make flavors, additives. They don't taste like what you would get if you were in rural China or in rural India, or even at your grandma's house. There was a reason that our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents ate from the ground. Turmeric, moringa, baobab, okra, all these whole foods. There was a reason why they ate these things, because that's real food. Even when you eat carbs, it's not that, for me, I don't not eat carbs. I just learn to understand them. That's what you need to do. You can't cut carbs out. You just need to learn how to eat them. You need to understand carbs, because that's what our grandparents did. So if that means you have your carbs with good fats and proteins, as I mentioned before, reclaim your ancestral foods, moringas, okras, all those good things. And my favorite, swap the word meal plan for plate ritual. So that means you have, let's just say, fish and chips, right? Make sure you have a bowl of fruit that you've cut up beautifully. Have some yogurt, add some chia seeds to it as your dessert after. Or have a bit of spinach which you've sauteed in garlic on the side. So you've got your whole foods, your ancestral foods, your organic, natural foods, but then you're eating your everyday foods. Because I understand you can't always be eating this. You may not have the time. It may be expensive depending on where you live in the world. But in your plates, have your salad, dress it beautifully with some extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Have your meat or your beans or your fish, dress it beautifully. It doesn't have to be eating food for function. You're not at a restaurant, but at least plate it in a way that you feel, oh, this is beautiful to eat. You feel so nourished because you're not just eating for function, you're eating for nourishment. And that's why, if you remember, when you go to your grandma's, your great-grandma's, your mother's house, that food would make you feel so satiated. Your stomach feels good, your mind feels good, you're not feeling any brain fog from what you've eaten, no gas, you feel so good about the food. Because why? They were feeding from cooking from their heart. Whole foods from the ground, it's all pure good energy. So reclaim your ancestral roots in terms of your food, because The food we have nowadays is not the real stuffs. Relearn that food is ancestral medicine. These hacks aren't trends, they're truths. And you don't need to become a brand new woman by 35. You just need to come home to a real one. So, comment below which hack that you are going to reclaim this week. And if you want a deeper dive, I've got a free 21-day tracker in the description below. Just remember, you're not late, you're just in your becoming. And if you like this video and you found all of this resonating, please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye!